Chariot, Kyungye. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Taekwondo Thursday. This week we're going to look at some of the options for defending against the side kick attack in free sparring. There's many different options: moving back, blocking down, to the left, to the right, moving off the line. So many different possibilities. You could spend a couple of hours working on them. But for the sake of the short tutorials that we want to do on Taekwondo Thursday, we're just going to look at some of the key ones you can work on, the pros and the cons of the different ones, and then you can always, bring it up with your instructor and get more elaboration done in class. Let's get started. Chariot, Kyungye. Let's look at some simple evasion tactics from here. If you put your right foot forward, please, Mr. Wielkowski. So from here, if the person attacks, you can simply move back. So just a side kick attack. You can just move back. That's it. You don't have to do much more than that. You just stay out of their range. Something else you could do is you could move forward. So as soon as you see them close the gap, you can move in and counter with your punch. So as soon as I saw, and I'm reading it in his eyes, and then the just initial movement, and I'm moving in. So he doesn't have space to kick, because I'm closing that distance and moving it on my hand. So that's another option. So moving back, moving forward. Other options are you can move off the line. Let's just bring it forward a little bit there. Thanks very much. So from here now, as he moves in with side kick, you can move off the line like this. And we'll just change the angle here, so you can get a better understanding from here. So as he attacks, I'm moving this direction. Now, I can always go to the other direction, like this. Now, there's some cons here. When I go to his back, my attacker's back, because I'm behind him, he's at a disadvantage. I can still punch to the side of his head, but he can't see me quite as clearly. Whereas when I go to this side, he still is in a great position to follow on with his attack. So you just need to be aware of those pros and cons. Another thing to consider is when we're moving back, do you want to keep the same leg in front, or do you want to change legs? Because you could move back with your foot to foot, and now that back leg is there for a counter turning kick if I want to use it, but maybe he has the other leg in front. In which case now I can use that back leg because it would hit him in the spine, it's in the legal area, so I may do a backward step, which allows me now to use my back leg and kick him in the abdomen. So there is some of your evasion tactics. Let's change it up now and have a look at some blocks and deflections. Chariot, Kyungye. So some various blocks that we could use. As the person's kicking, you can knock it, let's keep that leg up, you could knock it down. That's one option. Another option is you can deflect them so that their back is turned, they're off balance. Another option is you could turn that way, so opening their body up. Another option. But let's see what are the pros and cons of each one. Well, knocking it down is probably the easiest. There's a pro for a start. Okay, and it doesn't really open you up that much. What it does do is it closes the gap, so you need to be ready for your counterattack. So from here, as long as you're ready, you can be in a good strong position. You've put the opponent off balance by knocking that foot down unexpectedly, but they can also follow through with their hands if they're quick enough, and they may have already been planned to follow through with the hands. So you need to be ready for that. So almost simultaneously you're knocking it down and you're countering. It doesn't have to be a punch, of course. You have to go with the situation. Let's look at when we deflect to the left or right. When you turn the person, again, you've put them off balance. It gives you a good position when they're disorientated to get your counter in. From here you can move her out to the side with that turning kick, with the bicycle motion. It gives you lots of different options. If you go in the other direction, from here, again, they're opened, but it's also a pro for the opponent. They're open, they can follow through. You do need to be very, very quick with your counterattacks when you open the person up like that. So it's a con as well as a pro, if you like. Yeah, you've opened them, but yeah, they're open. They can continue following through with their attack with their hands. So just to be aware of that. And as I said, look, we could talk about these all day. But it's just to get you thinking about not just doing the same old thing all the time. Side kick comes in, maybe you let them kick you in the arm or something like that, and you're just getting a dead arm. There's lots of different options. Also, you can combine them. For example, attacks, I can move and deflect. There's lots of different things you can do. Combine them. You can open them up here and move off to the side, and you can start to throw up that turning kick. So from here, see kicks, 1, 2. So I'm moving away from my opponent and doing that turning kick. So there's lots of different options. You can combine evasions, blocks, as well as doing them separately. So some things to think about. Chariot, kyungye. Thank you, sir. Fast forward. Chariot, kyungye. All the best, everybody.